This panel will explore practical smart city use cases, the integration of sustainability and ethical AI, and how we can build the public trust and workforce readiness needed for autonomous mobility to thrive. To moderate this conversation, we're going to welcome back to the stage Dr. Sven Beaker. And please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelist, Fatma Al-Hantoubi, Section Head, Transport Services Integrated Transport Center. George Princess, Chief Executive Officer of Versa Aerospace. Tobias Lebelt, Chief Executive Officer, Benteler Mobility. Walid El-Bloushi, Vice President Strategy K2. Hugo Fusati, Chief Business Officer Tensor. Dr. Sven, the floor is all yours.
So long for our panel, Smart Cities in Action, Urban Mobility Transformation. And as it was already pointed out, we really want to discuss a little bit more how technology, sustainability, and policy converge to merely make cities smarter, which actually means safer, cleaner, and more inclusive, because there are a lot of challenges with transportation in the city, and we have a very esteemed panel here today to discuss this a little bit more over the last 40 minutes before this great summit for today will come to a close. And before we go into some questions that I prepared, I thought it might be good to understand a little bit more the background that all our panelists bring here to the discussion. And for this, I would first like to invite Fatma Al-Hantoubi to tell us a little bit more about what you do at the Center for Transport Services.
Hi. Just to give you a brief about what we are doing in Integrated Transport Center and Transport Services. We are the regulatory body that's taking care of regulating and developing the transport sector in Abu Dhabi. So we are taking care of transport planning, regulation part, traffic systems and management, traffic management, and all this stuff. And I'm responsible about autonomous mobility in Integrated Transport Center. So we are the team who is developing the autonomous mobility ecosystem, the governance system, and developing all collaboration, coordination related, and issuing the permits and everything related to autonomous mobility. So this is clearly what we are doing in ITC.
That is very important, handing out the permits actually for what is going to happen with these autonomous systems. Thanks very much. Next one will be George Princess, who's the CEO of Versa Aerospace. Tell us more about Versa Aerospace.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. My name is George Princess. I'm the CEO of Versa Aerospace, which is the only academy for unmanned platforms in Abu Dhabi. We are certified by the Civil Aviation Authority, which is our overlooking authority. What is unique about Versa is, besides a bit of research and development that we do, is that we have the, let's say, the two major licenses that are rolled out by the Civil Aviation Authority since the beginning of 2025, and we provide that training. And we customize training for organizations or manufacturers that are rolling out an unmanned platform that is maybe a bit above the 25 kilogram. Whoever is dealing with unmanned vessels understands that over 25 kilograms, and we focus on the heavier now weights, because as we see, many unmanned platforms are coming out with capabilities of 200 kilogram payloads. So this is what we mainly do, training.
So that is also very important to understand. Even if it's unmanned flying vehicles, you still need to train and license
Absolutely.
the personnel
and we're going to talk about that.
Thanks very much,
Yes.
George. Much appreciated. Next off would be Tobias Liebelt, who's the CEO of Benteler Mobility. I've known Benteler for quite some time, has a great history in automotive. Now Benteler Mobility, Tobias, tell us more.
So yeah, Benteler is also the parent company of Holon. Holon is the first purpose-built vehicle for public transport. And in addition to the vehicle, we have also created a full end-to-end platform. So coming from analytics to understand how mobility is running today and how mobility could be running in the future. That's the analytic part. And over the analytic, we are going into the software piece. So remote control, operation systems, and then framed also by a couple of commodities like maintenance and repair, day-to-day care. But also, it's very interesting, a financing solution, because whatever, for future mobility, we see a lot of investment needs. And we have integrated also an off-balance asset-light financing solution. So we have a complete package from the vehicle over the software pieces up to financing. And we are acting as an agnostic platform. So you also can onboard robocopters on our platform. You can also do that for e-scooters, also for alternative shuttles, because at the moment we like ours, but maybe tomorrow there will be a couple of others following us, and we are also prepared for that situation.
Great. Thanks very much, Tobias. There we see already like an autonomous transportation ecosystem, so not just one mode or one kind of vehicle, goes much broader. Thanks very much. Next one would be Walid Al-Bloushi, who's the VP of Strategy at K2. K2 that goes pretty high up altitude, I guess, so tell us more. What do you do there?
So yes, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Walid Al-Bloushi. I'm the Vice President of Strategy at K2. K2 is a UAE company, Abu Dhabi government owned. We have a couple of verticals under us like aviation, automotive, human performance, robotics, but we specialize more in autonomous systems and AI-driven technologies.
Great. Thank you very much. Also a very important part of the ecosystem here. And last but certainly not least, Hugo Fossati, who's the Chief Business Officer at Tensor, I believe a company that's been in stealth mode for quite some time. So take off the wraps here. What is Tensor all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Tensor's an American AI company. We're about 10 years old now. And we focus on building agentic products for consumers. And we recently, just this past August, after being in stealth mode for 5 or 6 years, we launched or unveiled the world's first fully autonomous level 4 vehicle that you can own.
Great. Very good. So I hope you agree we have quite some knowledge, some expertise here on the panel, and we've been discussing obviously autonomous mobility throughout the day. One thing that I wanted to drill a little bit deeper, what are actually the success stories that we can already point to today? And therefore, I would invite our panelists to make it really visual, but also tangible if possible. So what are the success stories where we see already that the smart mobility in urban environments is working and is generating benefits? I know, George, you are nodding. Maybe if you want to say something. Yes, please.
Exactly, yeah. Actually, this is a very nice question. The success stories that we have seen, for example, I was reading an article. Singapore is rolling out the autonomous transportation system. But there are so many other success stories that are going unnoticed. A UAV that is instructed to go and inspect a power line, that is a success story because it's totally autonomous. It goes, does the task, returns back, gives us data. I believe success stories are made when pilot programs that are supported by the government or by institutions that have the capability to do a pilot program. So when you receive the data out of this pilot program or this testing or this proof that something autonomous worked, that is the success story. Because then we have the data that this platform, this robot did a task autonomously, and therefore now we can go to the next step, commercialize it, scale it up, or whatever.
Follow-up question, if you allow, George. You said if we can show that this autonomous system works, how do you define that?
Excellent. That's a nice follow-up. So, in order to evaluate data from a pilot program, you have to receive the data, transparently share the data, and have the stakeholders have an opinion about this data, like to make sure that the stakeholders, whether it's regulatory or the end user, to make sure that they can see all the data transparently, and then help whoever developed this autonomous vessel or vehicle or robot to pretty much participate so that the data is evaluated and all the stakeholders arrive at the same result. Yes, it worked. No, it didn't. That's I don't know if that answered the question.
Works for me.
Okay.
So any success
I hope
stories?
it works for them too.
Any success stories from ground vehicles, maybe to add to this? I don't know, Hugo or Tobias, that you can share success stories. Yeah, please.
Sure. I mean, I will add. You know, we're a very data-driven company, of course, and you know, we've taken account of the reception from around the world about since when we unveiled our product in August has been incredible. You know, the main reasons people are so excited, you know, to buy the product is because, you know, this is a purpose-built vehicle. So what we did is we designed, you know, our vehicle from the ground up, specifically for level 4 ownership. And so there's no retrofitting, and it's, you know, it's taking into consideration, you know, the weight and so forth, a lot of different characteristics that change when you have a level 4 vehicle. So they're really excited about something purpose-built. They're really excited about something that's private, so you can be in the privacy of your own, you know, of your own office, of your own home, or whatever it is inside of the vehicle, and that it's agentic. This is also the world's first agentic vehicle, so it can this concept, you know, of your car just basically sitting there for 90% of the time doing nothing and depreciating. You know, we flip that on its head, and now the vehicle is working for you, and it can make money for you while you're sleeping, for example. So these are, you know, these are a lot of the things that we've been hearing since we've launched, since we unveiled in August, and it's just been an amazing to experience.
Great, very good.
Yeah.
I think I think the same is also valid for us. No? So purpose-built for Tensor, it's private. For us, it's public. That is our case, our sweet spot. And in addition to that, for us, it's also important that you have a scalable solution. So if you're looking to depots today, you have a lot of different providers. And as you also mentioned, a lot of them are retrofitted. And I think for public transport, it's not the best way to use retrofitted ones. So you need a purpose-built one, but also a scalable one. So you need a producer and manufacturer in the background who is able to deliver scalable solutions on the globe, and that's our position, and we are proud on that. Last week we received the first license to run in an autonomous mode on the cities of Hamburg, and we are also looking forward now to do the next one here in Abu Dhabi.
Great, definitely looking forward to it. Fatma, maybe let's take a look at not the other side of the equation, but let's step back and ask the question, why are we actually doing this regarding autonomous ground, air, sea traffic? And how can cities actually make sure that ultimately it is about the climate goals, inclusivity, well-being, safer traffic? So if I ask you, how can cities make sure that they are getting out of it what they need?
So for us as an ITC and Abu Dhabi Emirate, we make sure every step toward automation it will have a direct impact on, let's say, climate and social targets. So it's always, when we talk autonomous, they will say it's a technology. But for us, it's not about technology, it's about impact. So everything will be related to carbon reductions. We will take care of community needs. We will make sure that all services will support community needs. And at the same time, it will have a direct impact on the, let's say, the traffic, accidents, records, plus, for sure, because if all autonomous vehicles are electric vehicles, and it's for sure sustainable, so it will have a direct impact on the emissions, and it will support directly Abu Dhabi and UAE vision for climate change and net zero 2050. So all these summed up to achieve our climate change and our social initiatives.
Yeah.
So this is what I see. It's not technology. It's about impact. So
Yes.
this is what we are trying to do here in Abu Dhabi by building the whole ecosystem for autonomous mobility.
Yeah. Because we heard earlier in the discussions as well that this technology is now moving beyond the pilot programs, beyond the early tests, and now it needs to show that it actually has impact on exactly those metrics that you referred to.
The short statement. It's not about technology, it's about impact.
Yes.
And position Abu Dhabi in this industry. So this is what we are trying to do, working with our partners, and this is happening here in Abu Dhabi.
Very well. So let's see, Walid, if I may, that also brings the question really about partnerships or the strategies to build public confidence, because you can say that they are experts on the industry side, on the regulatory side, but in the end it's all of us, whether experts or not, that we are in downtown areas, on a highway, maybe near a port area where the self-driving vehicles drive and fly and float. So how do we make sure actually that we build confidence among the public in this? And also, is there an element which was mentioned earlier by George that we need to retrain personnel, also about reskilling of the people? So tell us maybe a little bit more, if you can, what does the people side of automation look like?
For me, technology doesn't build trust, people do. And what I mean by that is, let's talk about the robotaxi program we have here. When the public sees a robotaxi driving autonomously or the robot delivery, they don't ask how many radars do they have, how many LiDARs, do they have 360 camera. They ask two simple questions. Is it safe? And can I trust it? So we have to build strategies on that. And I believe the first strategy is to show the public how we test our robotaxis with the help of ITC, Abu Dhabi Mobility. The first thing we do is test it in very close environments, like a driving center. And they gave us really hard tests so we can go operational on the island. After we show the public where we test in a very closed environment, we go to a bigger, wider environment, like Yas and Saadiyat Island. And we show the people, look, we were in a very closed environment and we went to a bigger one. The second strategy is transparent communication. So we tell everybody about the technology, how it sees, how it reacts, and how does it work. And for that, we have to show them, as I said, I'll just give an example as a robotaxi. We have two phases of telling them it is autonomous, but there's still human monitoring control. So the first phase is you order a robotaxi, you will still see a safety driver inside, but he's not touching the steering wheel. The steering wheel goes right, the steering wheel goes left, but his hands is on his lap. He's just there just in case. The second phase, which is the last phase, is driving autonomously. You order the taxi, there's nobody inside, you hop in, you go to point B. But there's still a human monitoring, and it's a command center, and we can see all the robotaxis, and individuals can see the taxis, just in case anything happens. And I believe the last strategy is training the workforce. So autonomy won't take your job. Autonomy will give you a higher tech value role. So in K2, we want to build UAE nationals to be fleet operators, maintenance workers at autonomous vehicle workshops, and fleet operators, like I said. And we want to change the mindset from AI took my job is AI gave me a better one.
So I take note of what you said, that it has to be safe and we need to trust it. So that doesn't seem to be the automatic thing. Once it's safe, everybody trusts it because you need to communicate also why lay people, non-experts can trust it.
Yeah.
George wants to answer it, and Hugo, I think, is
I
well
totally
into
agree.
Yes.
Walid exactly captured the essence of the three pillars of the strategy in order to arrive to trust. Trust is built by knowledge. Okay? You know something, it's safe, you trust it. You came from the United States, I assume, right? You traveled to Abu Dhabi. When you got in the airplane went to 35,000 feet, and you trusted that the autopilot, and the pilots trusted that the autopilot is going to keep that airplane at 35,000 feet.
As much as I went to sleep for 14
exactly.
hours.
But why did you trust that? Because you know that whichever the manufacturer is, the regulator made sure that the testing were public, the testing was done properly, following the guidelines. And I want to just go one small step further from what Walid, because he captured pretty much everything. Yes. I would say one more small addition. Educate the youth. In Versa Aerospace now, we are rolling out a program where we're going to approach all the schools to educate them about, yes, of course they've seen the drones, oh, daddy, can I get a drone and all that. But for us is to introduce the technology to the youth, get them excited, get them aware, get them used to having autonomy around them. That way they will grow up to be people who more easily trust. And one last thing, if I may, how safe is safe? What is safe? We're talking about acceptable risk. You can never be 100% safe, no matter what you do in life, is acceptable risk. And how do we arrive to acceptable risk? Knowledge, transparency, everything what Walid said. That's all.
Absolutely. I don't know, Tobias or
Sure.
Hugo, you wanted to add to it? Yeah?
Exactly what you have said is that what we are doing. So we are going now in the United States where we will found our first factory into the middle schools, and we are teaching what autonomous vehicles are doing. And I have a really fascinating example. So also we are doing that in the city of Hamburg, and there was a morning 2 weeks ago. We stand on a traffic light, walk around, and one of our vehicles passed, and two young girls stand next to us. And the one said, "What kind of vehicle is that? Never seen that." And the other one said, "Hey, you are not knowing that? That's a Holon." So in her narrative, that is a Holon, because maybe she comes from one of the schools we have trained and explained that. And if you are bringing that to our young people, then the next ridership is not so scared about maybe our age if you are not so aware what this technology is doing. No, so totally right from both sides.
Hugo, did you want to
Yeah, I was just
Yes,
going to add,
please.
I mean, you know, we've basically, I mean, safety is the entire reason why we built the vehicle the way we did. I mean, we've taken a very, very different approach. We've taken a very sensor-rich approach. We have over 100 sensors, you know, in the car. You know, this is why we've been so silent for so long, is because something like this, you know, takes time to build correctly. We have, you know, again, 100 sensors, our own proprietary LiDAR that we've built specifically for, you know, level 4 autonomous driving. We own all the IP, all the design, which is, you know, when you're driving in certain environments, is very, very important that you, you know, that you can see clearly. We have all the technology to maintain these sensors, to clean the sensors, like your eyes, to make sure that they're always, you know, you can see every single contour, every single design decision was made to maximize the visibility of the vehicle. the cameras, of the LiDARs, of the radars. I heard about redundancy. You know, redundancy is, we totally agree. We think this is fundamental. I mean, we have unprecedented levels of redundancy. I mean, redundant braking, redundant steering, redundant sensing, redundant compute. It's, you know, this is also why we've invested so much into our own proprietary supercomputer. This is the world's most powerful supercomputer ever put inside of a vehicle that generates, you know, 8,000 tops, 8,000 trillion operations per second to power. Done this with NVIDIA's latest Thor offering, and you know, you know, to do this properly, you really need, you know, this level of compute, of sensing, of redundancy. And then the only thing I will add is, you know, even the weight, the extra weight, right, of this, of all these sensors. We have our own proprietary chassis that we've built, again, specifically for level 4, you know, traditional, let's say AV 1.0, when you're retrofitting, I mean, this is not made for scale. It's not made, it's the vehicle dynamics, you know, everything changes with level 4. I mean, you know, just even on the redundancy, we get down to the fuse level, right, which is critical. I think, you know, the last thing I'll say is on this topic is, you know, is the privacy. You know, we've built the vehicle that everything stays locked inside of the vehicle, and I think I heard about social well-being, and I heard about, you know, trust. And I think in order to trust this technology, you also need to have, you know, give the consumer, you know, the ability to, you know, not have everything, you know, let's say leaked or what have you when they communicate with the vehicle, they're inside of the vehicle, or what the vehicle, you know, sees. So we've gone, you know, through an incredible amount of let's say engineering work and design work to make sure that the vehicle is 100% private.
So we see that there's a lot that goes really into these autonomous transportation systems. We hear a lot about technology, about reskilling of the people who are involved, educating the general public, which might go through the younger generation. And regulation obviously is very important. So Fatma, I'd like to discuss with you a bit more like these partnerships between industry, the regulators, academia as well, and the general public. And what do you see, how can we form these partnerships that we really work towards, let's say, these goals for 2040, like 25% autonomous transportation in the UAE. So how would you craft these partnerships between public, private sector, academia, the general public?
Yeah, okay. This is a really good question, because we all believe that no single entity can deliver the agenda for transformation to autonomous mobility or autonomy in general. So in Abu Dhabi and under supervision of the Systems Council and all governmental entities who are part of the council, trying to really cover all parties, because I believe all, like Walid and other entities and private sector, they are all part of the working group under the council. So it's really good that involve academias and a private sector with the local and governmental bodies to shape the future of autonomous in Abu Dhabi. So the door is open for everyone to share knowledge, to share experience, and to just talk, just throw whatever you have. We are here to listen and to accelerate. So this is what we are doing here in Abu Dhabi. ITC, we have a clear plan. We developed a clear strategy for autonomous, as you said, 25% of total trips by 2040. And to achieve this, we need to work closely with all partners, and we really have a good collaboration and partnership with all private companies that want to start business in Abu Dhabi, working with Abu Dhabi Investment Office, all governmental entities, starting from adding the license to the activity to the trade license, up to the commercial operations. So we are taking care of every single step to make sure that the journey is smooth for everyone. listening from governmental body that we are moving towards something. And in every single step, we try to enable their business. So this is kind of the relationship that we have now already with the partners. And Walid, one of the key partners, K2, they are really one of the key partners that we're working together to shape and to accelerate autonomous mobility and to see more robotaxis on roads. And I'm sure they are airlines and seas. So we have a healthy relationship with the universities, private sectors, and leadership. Really, it's totally transparent. We have the same agenda, one direction, and it's well delivered for sure.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Walid, maybe if you want to tell us a little bit more also how K2 is involved in these partnerships, and how would you describe what is needed, what is happening, and what are maybe good practices also that can be shared with other cities or regions that consider the implementation of automated transportation?
Yes, I believe the government sets the vision and the regulatory, and the private sector deploys and commercialize based on the same speed. In Abu Dhabi, we have something that's very unique and very special. We work in a very fast pace and we execute perfectly. We don't wait 5 years. If it makes sense, we don't wait 5 years. So we deploy, we test, and we improve. And that is what we're doing here at K2. We are creating the whole autonomous ecosystem in retail, F&B sectors, agriculture, automotive, aviation, with the help, of course, of the government and the private sector. We believe that success isn't about the technology, it's about the autonomous ecosystem sustaining itself.
That brings, in my mind, also up the question with these partnerships and the regulation. Is it something where you needed to start from scratch here in the UAE, or were the regions that you were looking to say, well, this is what we can use from there, this didn't work too well over there? So who are maybe also international partnerships and exchange that you have in order to put out regulations and ultimately then partnerships for this?
Yeah, if you are allowing me. So in Abu Dhabi, when we started the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Strategy with the vision and the targets, we never start from scratch for sure, because we benchmark around 26 countries. And related to the regulation, we came up to shortlisted couple of countries, Germany, one of the countries, UK, and different countries. But by end, we customized something for Abu Dhabi. So whatever benchmarked, we get the best from different countries, and we shaped something for us, which suit and adaptable for Abu Dhabi environment and Abu Dhabi vision. So I think starting from scratch will never work, because the world is moving. So we should learn from wherever the people just started, and we move on. So it was really good practice that we are working closely with the different, let's say, even the academia part, they are playing a big role, and R&D's institutes to shape the regulation for Abu Dhabi. And still we are improving, by the way. We never have, until now, we don't have like to say, no, this is the final regulation for Abu Dhabi. We have real experiences, we have real operations, but from the real operations, we are shaping the regulation that will sustain the business in Abu Dhabi, inshallah.
That is, I think, a very important point, that one cannot just take over a blueprint from another country or another region and say we do it the same way, which really shows that transportation is in the end, very regional undertaking, where culture also plays a role, and then obviously the infrastructure that is available or not available. So all this plays into it. Which brings me to a question that I wanted to discuss also a little bit. We talk about benefits, we talk about partnerships, we talk about success stories. What are the challenges? And I'm looking at Tobias, maybe. If you can maybe point out what you found, maybe also surprisingly, what are the challenges when deploying automated transportation systems?
So self-driving technology by themselves is a challenge, for sure. So from our perspective, as I said at the beginning, we are looking a little bit more agnostic to the SDS technology. So at the moment we are going with Mobile Eye for public transport. We're feeling very well fitted. We are achieving a lot of positive results, but nevertheless, at the end, this is SDS technology 1.0. And if you are looking to the timing efforts we are spending to make an ODD happen, that's huge. It's mapping, it's validation, so it costs a lot of time and money, for sure. And if you are looking from a commercial perspective to cases like this, also from a society perspective, to make these services available for a bigger crowd of people, from our perspective, that there must be another disruption wave coming to make that happen. And this is a huge challenge because you're running into a dilemma. On one side, everybody is asking for scalable solutions. Scalable solutions need a good commercial background to make that happen. And if you're talking only about whatever pilots and dropping into an ODD 6 or 12 months of time to make that happen, that's hard. Look to Waymo. That's a fantastic company, super drive experience. But they did over 7 years parts of San Francisco. And this is not linked that Waymo is not able to do that. That's also linked to the technology challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. George, I don't know if you want to add to challenges that you see in your sector up in the air.
Yes. Well, actually, what we see, it's evident. Technology is running at light speed at the moment. And I have, really, I'm not trying to be politically correct here. I have enormous respect for the regulator, at least in our field of Versa Aerospace, the Civil Aviation Authority, because the country here is ready mentality-wise to adopt the new technology. But the authority and the leadership has given to the authorities the instructions: safety, people first. Technology will always run, but take your time. Before you roll out a framework, you roll out, you don't kick out a framework just to let's make money now. And that, I'm not trying to be politically correct. I have enormous respect. Yes, sometimes the authority can have, around the world, can have a little bit of, yeah, but what if something happens? But here, you see that I don't understand this technology. Okay, let's bring the universities to explain to the regulator this technology so we can framework this technology in a proper way. So here in Abu Dhabi, we have not seen authorities and regulators where they hit the obstacle and they say, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
They say, okay, this is an obstacle. Okay, let's understand this. Let's not bypass to compromise safety. Let's understand and build procedures and regulations and laws that will protect the public, improve their lives, and not compromise the safety of them for profit. And that, respect.
Yeah. We are getting at time here, but I think this discussion would not be complete without talking a bit more about data, cybersecurity, privacy, and the like. So people might be concerned. Safety is certainly a very important thing. Like, I don't want to be in a situation that a self-driving car behaves that I don't understand and it causes harm. But also, some people might be very concerned. There are all these cameras on board, and it learns about the usage of the people on the vehicle. I don't know, let me ask Hugo maybe. So you are building a self-driving vehicle for private usage.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Private, privacy, cybersecurity, how do you approach that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we made a very, very conscious decision to make the car extremely private. And what I mean by that is all the data, because I mentioned earlier about 100 sensors, on the vehicle, cameras, lidars, microphones, everything, right? And we think that it's very important that this remains owner of the vehicle makes the decision what they want to share, what they don't want to share. Everything remains locked down in the vehicle. The owner can decide, yes, I share this with Tensor. No, I don't share this with Tensor. There are cases we don't need to know where the car is. We think this is fundamental, and it may even, it's cost us more to do this, but there's really no price or no cost. You can it's not you cannot compromise.
Yep.
And I think when today, people's living rooms, people's offices, people's homes, this is all private. Nothing gets communicating. So what's different with the car? Now the car effectively is your office, is your living room, is whatever you want it to be. So I think this is. Yeah, this was fundamental. We've actually built in, this is the world's first vehicle with end-to-end encryption. So when you communicate with the vehicle, it's
really key to put the owner, the user in control.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
With this, we are at time, but I do want to ask this one last question to each of you with the ask to maybe just give one word as an answer, if possible. So what do you think is the most important aspect that cities need to think about when they deploy autonomous transportation? What is the most important thing that they should keep in mind? George, you want to go first?
I'll go? Okay.
One word.
One word?
Well, if it's a brief sentence, I will let it go.
Okay. On to you. Because you said one word. Okay. Cooperate, and any obstacle is not a deal breaker. Find a solution.
Learn from it. Yep. Let it go. Tobias.
For me, it not only belongs to the city, it's more for us as a community of pioneers to make these new mobility solutions happen, autonomous, and that's teamwork.
Walid?
Like my colleague said, it's collaboration with the government and private sectors.
Collaboration is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say a couple of them, but one is, scalability, I think, is also very important. It needs to be scalable, otherwise, it's not useful enough. And with, 1.2 million deaths, traffic-related accidents, happening around the world per year, it's very important that, it's scalable, it's accessible, and we do it quickly. I would say another thing is, being, leveraging assets, right? Utilizing asset utilization. So in our case, private owners can own it, but they can also plug it into a network, and therefore you're increasing the asset utilization, right? And not just keeping it.
So scale not just the business, but also scale really the benefits.
Yes. Yes.
You get the chance to close it, Fatma. What should cities really have front and center if they deploy autonomous transportation?
So, for me, I agree with the team also. It's about collaboration and integration.
Yeah.
Because we should deal with the autonomous like part of the livability thing for people. So it should be part of the urban planning thing in the future. So this is from us.
Very good. A lot of collaboration, and I think we had great collaboration here on the panel. So therefore, let's thank our panelists for a great discussion. Thank you very much.